Hello crafty friends, this is Yana Smakula. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm joining Simon Says Stamp for their blog hop celebrating the release of their new products, and I'm creating with the Floral World Builder stamp set and coordinating dies. It is a fabulous set. It's a large 6x8 clear stamp set. You can see I have it on the screen right now, and it includes several letters, individual letters. It's not an entire alphabet, to help you create words like hello, hugs, love, joy, and you. You could probably come up with some other words using these individual letters, but these are the suggestions that Simon has for you on the back of the packaging. Now, there is also another stamp set that kind of goes well together with this set. This is called Floral Builder Sentiments, although it does stand on its own. But this tiny little stamp set includes additional sentiments and a little sentiment banner that you can use to add additional messages to your focal point words, like missing your hugs or sending you hugs or, love to you, things like that. And there are coordinating dies for both of these sets, and I am using the stamps and the coordinating dies. Now, it has been some very, very long time since I last used my Polychromos colored pencils from Faber-Castell. I used to love to create with those. I used to do a lot of coloring, and these colored pencils, for me, I find them particularly fantastic when you use them on dark colors of cardstock. And you guys know me. I love dark colors of cardstock because colors just pop on a dark background. So for this card, for this video, I decided I would grab my Polychromos and I would do some simple coloring. So here I have my Misty Light stamp platform. I've been loving my Misty Light lately. I do have the regular traditional Misties, but ever since I tried the Misty Light, I don't know, I cannot go back. So here's my Misty Light. I have a panel of black cardstock. This is cut to 4¼ by 5½ inches, but I will be heat embossing the letters on this panel and then cutting them out using the coordinating dies. So the size of this panel doesn't really matter. I did just treat this panel with an anti-static powder tool from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to ink up the two letters. I'm going to stamp like 2 letters at a time just to make it easier for myself. So inking the 2 letters H and U, I think, with clear embossing ink. Going to flip the Misty Light platform and press the ink onto my paper. And I'm also using the stamp press from Pink Fresh Studio, and I'm using that to press the stamps onto the paper. The stamp press has been around for such a long time, but you guys, I'm like I don't know, a late adopter, if you will. It takes me a very long time to start using some of the supplies and start loving some of the supplies. So I finally am using these supplies and I'm finally loving them. Next, I have antique gold embossing powder from Simon Says Stamp. This is by far my absolute favorite color of embossing powder. And I have just coated these 2 stamped letters with this embossing powder. I'm going to use my heat tool to melt the powder or heat the powder and melt it in place. My heat tool is plugged into a wall behind me and the cord is not very long. I mean, it's long enough, but my desk is kind of far from the wall. So this is as far as my heat tool goes right now. So that's why I'm not heat embossing this panel in the center of the video screen. That's why I'm a little bit closer to the bottom. So using my heat tool to heat set these 2 letters, and this is going to give us a beautiful gold heat embossed outline. And this is also something that I have missed doing, with the Glamour Hot Foil system, with all the things foil related, with all the foiling. I have been doing so much foiling because I do love foiling. It's beautiful. Let's be honest. It is just amazing. But nonetheless, heat embossing looks just as good and it is just as great. And you don't need to have the expensive tools to do heat embossing. Yes, you need the embossing powder and the ink pad and the heat gun, but those are not as expensive as like the, Glimmer hot foil system or the laminator tools. So if you're if you're a new card maker, if you're just starting out, heat embossing is an amazing technique. Or if you have been a long time crafter and maybe you've been foiling and have not done heat embossing in a long time, give it a try. It still looks amazing. It still gives you fantastic results. So while I was heat embossing the letters on black cardstock, I figured, why not also heat emboss them on white? I wasn't planning to do another card, but I already had them mounted on the flap of my Misty Light. So I went ahead and I heat embossed the exact same letters on a panel of white cardstock. That was Nina Solar White 80 pound. The black cardstock, this is Spellbinders Black. It's a little bit thicker cardstock. And I mentioned this because later on, as I assemble my cards, you will notice that I add another layer. I die-cut blank white letters from regular white cardstock, and I glue the two white layers together. But I don't do that for the black cardstock because black is thicker, it feels thicker in my hand, and I didn't feel I needed to back the black up with another layer of cardstock. So with all the heat embossing done, I'm using the Alt New eraser. I like to use this to either prime my stamps. When I do my stamping, I didn't prime my stamps for this video. These are outline stamps that I didn't feel like I needed to prime them. So I just used the pencil eraser and I erased that milky residue from the anti-static powder that was sitting on the cardstock and allowed me to achieve beautiful heat embossed results. So now comes the most exciting part, which is coloring with colored pencils. I do have a lot of videos, older videos on my YouTube channel where I show and talk in detail about coloring with colored pencils on cardstock, mostly on non-white cardstock, because when you have white cardstock, you can color with alcohol markers or watercolors or, other things. Colored pencils, I love them because they are opaque and I can use them to color over colored cardstock. Not necessarily black, it could be craft, it could be gray, it could be like dark green, dark blue, even pink or yellow. You can color over that cardstock color with colored pencils. So I have these from Faber-Castell. These are Polychromos. I have a pretty big set, but I've not used them in a long time. The reason is I used to color a lot with these pencils and I would get like these pains in my wrist. So I kind of had to stop coloring as much. This coloring, it didn't take a long time. It wasn't a lot of coloring. So I was able to do this no problem, but I kind of try to stay away from doing too much coloring because I kind of grab and hold the pencils too firmly, I guess, and that puts too much tension and pressure in my wrist, and then it results in pain. And well, nobody wants to be in pain after a card making session, right? So here is one letter colored and cut out using a coordinating die. I colored the letter green using green pencils. And let's see, I do have the pencils right here with me so I could tell you the exact colors. So I used dark phthalo green, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but hopefully I am, and emerald green. So this is like the light and the dark green to color the letters because I wanted them to be this beautiful emerald green color. And then once I cut the letter out using the coordinating die, I felt like maybe I do need to color the flowers. At first, I wasn't planning on coloring the flowers. I was planning on only coloring the letters. But then I figured, you know what, I might as well go ahead and color the flowers and the leaves. Now, those are small images. You don't have a lot of room for blending, but nonetheless, I was able to do just a little bit of blending. For the flowers, for these pink like peonies, I was able to use white. I was kind of planning to blend into white, but I didn't really do that, I kind of changed my mind a lot as I was making my card. And then I used pink Madder Lake. This is lightest pink. I then have fuchsia. This is like my medium pink. And I didn't show this, but I also used pink carmine color to add like dark pink pink details to these pink flowers. The leaves were colored using a green pencil, and for that I used May Green. That one is very short because I have been using it so much. It was one of my favorite green colors. And then I also used more white and a little bit of yellow to color some of the other flowers, you know, a different color. And the yellow is the dark cadmium yellow. So here is a look at the letters once finished and cut out. Absolutely love the way this looks. You could arrange these in a different way, like in one line on a slimline card, or you could stack these and fit them on an A2, and they do fit perfectly on an A2 card. So with that done, I wanted to stamp a little banner, and I used that other mini stamp set, the Floral World Builder Sentiments, and I stamped Missing Your. I first did basic stamping, so I stamped the image as it was intended in clear embossing ink, and I heat embossed that in gold embossing powder, but the banner has a little bit of a curve to it. So I then came back to my cardstock. I already have like a little guide, a die cut guide in here. And I made sure to curve my stamp just a little bit, not a lot, you know, give it just a little bit of a curve so that it follows the shape of the banner a little bit better. And I like that better, you know, at least for this card. I didn't do that for the second card, but for this card, I did curve my stamp and I like that a lot better. So here's a look at what I have going on my card so far. And I really love this. Now, I also added a little bit of texture to the background, and to create that texture, I used a fantastic die from Simon Says Stamp. This is the Willow Weave Plate. Now, for this card, for my coloring with colored pencils, I am using brushed black cardstock from Spellbinders for the background. This is like regular black, but it has a little bit of shine and shimmer to it. It looks very luxurious. And I also die cut that texture layer from the same cardstock from Spellbinders. So I have regular black, and then I have this brushed black. Next, I used black foam adhesive squares, and I added them behind the letters. I first placed the panel. This is again cut to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I placed my die cut texture layer over the main panel. The die cut texture layer is also sized to fit perfectly on an A2 card. And then I placed my colored and die cut letters over my panel. Nothing is adhered yet. I am using foam adhesive squares to foam mount the letters over the background and that texture layer. And the foam adhesive squares are the only thing that is going to hold the texture layer, the die cut layer, in place. So I didn't use glue, I didn't use foam adhesive or anything else to adhere that die cut texture layer in place. In fact, I wanted it to be a bit loose and like a little bit detached from the background panel to give it that airy look. I hope you know what I mean, but it just looked better. I really did not want to firmly stick it down in place, and I love the way it turned out in the end. I also used black foam adhesive squares for my little sentiment banner, and my card says "Missing Your Hugs," and I just placed that banner in between the 2 rows of my letters. I added some gems. These are the gold mixed gems from Spellbinders to the background. I created an A2 top folding card base from black cardstock, added that on top, and added a white cardstock panel to the inside of that card. Now for my second card, the one on a white background, I used Copic markers, and you can take a screenshot of the colors that I used. I tried to do like the same color combination, but instead of using colored pencils and instead of coloring on black cardstock, I colored with alcohol markers, Copic markers on white cardstock. Again, this is Nina Solar White 80 pound. It was a little bit thinner than my black cardstock, so I die cut another layer from the same thin or thinner, it's not thin, thinner white cardstock. I glued the 2 layers together, and then I will use white foam adhesive squares to foam mount these onto a white background. So pretty much two cards that are identical in design, composition, and all of that. It's just that for one card, I went with black cardstock and colored pencil coloring, and for the other card, I went with white and white coloring. Now, to create a banner for this second card, I wanted the banner to be on green cardstock. I didn't have that color of green. I also was looking through my stash to try and find like a green ink that I could use to stamp the banner shape, because you can do that. I couldn't find that either. So I just used a Copic marker. I scribbled some green color onto the cardstock, heat embossed, sending hugs, cut that out and foam mounted that onto my card. And here's a look at the two cards side by side. I love them both. I am a huge fan of black and dark and dramatic, but I also love the white, the light, and the bold and the beautiful. Let me know in the comments below which card is your favorite. Do you prefer the white or the black? I'd love to hear from you. All supplies I used for this project are listed and linked in the video description below. I also encourage you to pop over to my blog, because I am participating in the Simon Says Stamp blog hop, and there are always giveaways, so you can have a little chance to win a gift card from Simon Says Stamp. Thanks so much for joining me today. Love you guys, and I'll see you again next time.